Roberta Williams is our guest on the show, and the show's name is GameGrumps.
Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to an extremely special episode of GameGrumps. This is Dan. Aaron could not be here today, but in his stead, we have someone very special who we've had on the show before. It's the delightful Roberta Williams.
Thank you for having me, Danny. I appreciate being here very, very much.
Yeah, this is really amazing. If you had told 6-year-old me, who was playing this game, no, maybe 8, but still, if you told me that someday my job would be playing this game with you, the creator, who, again, I don't know if we were talking offline about this, but Sierra was one of the first kind of companies that sort of put the creator of the game on the box set a little bit. And so you and the other creators like Scott Murphy and Mark Crow, who you can see in the titles here, when they went on to create Space Quest, it was sort of like a little bit of celebrity kind of thing happening.
Yeah, well, it was an idea of Ken's, that's my husband, to sort of treat the game designer as kind of like a, I don't know if I want to use the word star, but certainly the creator, the author, however you want to put it, and highlight that person. And it began with me, partially because I wrote the very first game for Sierra Online.
Yeah.
Very first game. I designed it.
Was that Mystery House?
That was Mystery House.
Yeah.
And Ken programmed it. He was a programmer at the time, just working, as a regular programmer for other companies. And I got this idea for designing an adventure game, and designed it on the kitchen table, like the proverbial kitchen table. And Ken was a programmer. He could program. I'm not really a programmer. I have worked with programming and computer operations, but not really. So we did it together. And so the first game we did, I got the credit as the designer, and then with Wizard and the Princess after that.
Yeah.
And then I followed through with many other games. It seemed to work well for us to talk about the beginning of Sierra as a family affair.
Yeah.
Kind of like a family affair. The husband and wife duo, that together they created these games and this little company that eventually became a big company. And so it kind of started out more as a family, Ken and Roberta thing to do together. And from a marketing standpoint, and people love that idea, couples working together. And so then it just sort of went into me, Ken started just being the guy
Yeah.
running the company. And so I got a lot of attention then, just designing the games. And then that worked really well. And so we followed through with that on many of our other games, like Allo with Leisure Suit Larry,
Yeah.
Mark Crow and Scott Murphy with Space Quest, and
Yep.
they took that idea and became the two guys from Andromeda.
Yeah. Scott showed me the pig nose.
The nose, the nose, and kind of silly, and
I love it.
And Jane Jensen.
Yeah, she did the Gabriel Knight game.
Gabriel Knight, and I mean Lorelei Shannon and Lori and Corey Cole. I mean, then it went on,
Yeah, and Lorelei did Phantasmagoria 2, which we played on the show with Paul Morgan Stetler and Victoria from the first Phantasmagoria.
Tori.
They're the best.
Oh, they are.
They're such nice people.
Oh, they are.
And yeah, so I mean, it in a world of faceless corporations, it definitely made you sort of get to know the people involved, and I think that's why, we're celebrating. It says 1987, but the first version of this was 1984, I think, and so we're celebrating the 40-year anniversary, and I think that's part of why these games have persisted in people's hearts for so long.
But just wait for 10 more years.
Oh my God!
We
yeah.
could do the 50th.
Please, I can't.
I don't
handle
know.
my own 50th.
I don't know that I'm going to be here.
Yeah, me neither. It's fine.
I think I will.
Yeah, me too. Let's
But I
think
may not
positively.
look quite as good. I don't know. I'm afraid to think.
It's A-okay. Well, but we're going to play through this. I played this game so many times, so
Okay.
we're just going to start. Here is the delightful King Graham outside the castle. And the funny thing is, when you look at this now, it's amazing how little backstory there is. You know, you come to... I know these characters so well from playing, 20 years of games with them, but this really just plops you in the middle and leaves it up to your imagination.
It does. I didn't. This is the version that we first did for the PC Junior and IBM, and how this became started. It got started, and I didn't put a lot of attention at the time. Since then, a lot of backstory has been written.
Right.
Not by me.
Yes.
I hate to burst anybody's bubble on that one, but others had put their creativity into some backstory.
That's okay. Well, also, I can tell you just from this beginning, this is also where I learned a little courtesy, because right now you're not King Graham yet, you're Sir Graham, and this is the actual king. So if you look King Edward the Benevolent is a very wise but elderly monarch. His frail body is almost lost in the large throne.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I would have written that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if you talk to him, that's what you're supposed to do. But if you bow first, you get a couple of extra points in your score. When you bow to King Edward, his pleased smile warms you. So when I was a kid, that led me to just think, okay, I should bow to everyone. And because obviously people love it. So my mom actually had to tell me, like, you don't have to bow.
Because you're not getting any more points.
Cookies, exactly. So let's just talk to the king and see what he says. When you speak to King Edward, he sighs and says, Sir Graham, I am an old man. I fear my end is near. I've chosen you to prove yourself worthy of the throne. As you know, our kingdom is weak and poor. I have knowledge of the existence of 3 things that would make our kingdom wealthy and strong. Somewhere within our kingdom, there is a magic mirror that tells the future. There is a magic shield that will protect the bearer from mortal harm. Finally, there's a magic chest that is always filled with gold coins. Go, Sir Graham. Go and bring me back these treasures. If you succeed, you will inherit the throne.
Yes.
Press any key to continue.
And I did write that.
Okay, cool.
I could tell my own writing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's more simple back in those days.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because, as the series goes on, these moments where, God, you talk to the king and you become, you begin your quest for the throne, it becomes such an important flashpoint for the whole rest of the series. But when you go back and play the original, it's pretty matter of fact.
It is, and there's a couple reasons why, in a way, with this game, is because IBM came to us, to Ken and I, and requested that we design a game for their upcoming PC Junior.
Okay.
Which at the time was a secret,
Right.
A secret in the industry. And so they said, oh, they have something coming out for a personal computer for the home. This is IBM, and they want to use it to play games and things like that. And they wanted me to write a game for the PC Junior, which they were calling the Peanut at the time, the secret word. That's a secret word, and they gave us a prototype for us to work with. And they said, we want it to be just like Adventures in Serenia. Now, if you want to know what Adventures in Serenia is, Adventures in Serenia is The Wizard and the Princess, which is my second game that I did after Mystery House. And they like a year or two before, they had come to Ken and Sierra and asked if they could take The Wizard and the Princess and put it under their own label and sell it in their own, I don't know, stores. I don't know if they had stores then.
Right.
IBM. I don't know. I don't know exactly how they were selling it, but.
I'm just going to grab this carrot out of the ground while you're talking.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please.
Okay. And they said, but we want Roberta to design another game for their new Peanut, which is a PC Junior. But they want it to be just like Adventures in Serenia, which was Wizard and the Princess, which was based upon Wizard and the Princess was based upon fairy tale figures and myths, legends, that kind of thing. So I said, well, that makes it pretty easy for me. I mean, if that's what they want, so I'll just write another game and use fairy tale, characters and things like that, and or myths and legends, and put it together with a little game. And they said, but we don't have much time.
Right.
We had like a year to do it.
Interesting.
And with a prototype of a machine that really didn't exist in reality quite yet either. So that's really all. And they said, and just use the capabilities of the PC Junior, which was more than the Apple II, because that's what we had been developing our games for up to that point.
Just going to grab a clover here.
Okay.
Please continue.
And so all I knew is that they wanted me to design a game that was like Adventures in Serenia, with that same kind of fairy tale kind of thing, and use and utilize the all the new features that this Peanut or PC Junior was going to have, and have it done and ready to go in like a year. Maybe it might even been less. So I was under the gun, and I had to just, in a way, I had to kind of throw it together pretty quickly. So it didn't give me a lot of time to think about backstory,
right.
and all of that. So partially, there's not a lot of backstory or too much, descriptive messages going on or anything because of that reason.
Yeah, that's interesting, because Scott and Mark, when they made Space Quest, they got very into, sort of messing with you when you do anything. But King's Quest 1 is very straightforward. If you look trees, this is a very beautiful tree, like that kind of thing. And
yeah.
But at the same
time, yes, a beautiful tree.
This is a very nice looking rock.
A nice looking rock. It's a rock. It could have been worse. I could have said, "Yep, it's a rock."
Yeah. Dude, what do you think? Open your eyes. But that's how it goes. I mean, and the idea that you made this sort of, I don't want to say under duress, but
not under. Well, I mean, kind of. It was. I did feel very, very pressured.
Yeah.
And Ken was on me like every day, and so I worked very hard on it for what it was. But it was a big leap in technology, and it did set the tone for many adventure games for the future, not just from Sierra, but from other companies too.
Right. This is. First of all, this was the first little sort of
clue.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know the word for it. So I picked up a ceramic bowl, and you notice on the bottom of the bowl the word fill, and I thought that you'd need to fill it with water. So that was my first instinct, to go to the river and try that. But you actually just say the word fill, and after uttering that strange word, the bowl starts quivering and immediately fills up with a delicious hot stew. So I always wanted to ask you if that was related to, in Lord of the Rings, when they encounter that door and it says speak friend and enter, but they actually just have to say the word friend, and that's the password. Was that in any way related?
No,
Okay.
not to that, but it is related to fairy tales.
Yeah.
And when I was a little girl, I loved fairy tales, loved them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it was a long time since I've been a little girl, and in those days, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have personal computers.
Right.
We had books.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom took me to the local library many times, and I would get as many fairy tale or myths, legends, but mostly fairy tales.
Yes.
Especially when I was very young, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. All the different fairy tale books. And there are quite a few old fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales, whatever.
I just read those.
Where
They're really
they're-
messed up.
Yeah, where there is a bowl, you can get a magic bowl, and you will never be hungry.
Oh, okay.
All you have to do is say fill, or a bowl fill, and it has porridge in it's porridge or a stew or something.
That's cool. And I'm sure it fit in well with the world that the Grimm's brothers were living in, because a lot of people were starving at the time.
Yeah, having a bowl of that could fill up all the time, you wouldn't worry about starving, because that's true. That's true.
I'm sure that connected with a lot
For
of
that
people.
time period, back in the medieval days, that would have been a really nice thing to have.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this tree is loaded with walnuts. These are some big ass walnuts.
Aren't they?
So
Yeah.
we'll just take one, because a lot of, and I think you pluck a nice walnut from the tree.
You can just pick one up from the ground. It
Yeah,
looks
you
like.
think? I mean, they're everywhere, and it's funny because I think part of the reason I loved this game so much, even though I had a lot of trouble finishing it when I was a kid, was so much of the beginning is sort of walking around collecting things. And I was like, well, I can do this. It felt like I was really making progress. Whereas some other games would be so complicated at the beginning, you'd just throw in the towel pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But this is, let's see, after the walnut, we have to get that golden egg.
We're definitely not doing the speed running version.
No. Well, yeah, I have
But
to.
that's okay.
I have
I
to
like
keep-
it this way. This is
me
very
too.
calm.
Me too. Well, the problem is with the computing power of some of these older games. If I put it on fast, he's like shot out of a cannon, and it's impossible to do
Yeah.
anything. So we'll just peacefully stroll
Yeah.
around.
No, I think that's nice.
Yeah, me too.
It's funny watching it. For me, it's very quiet because for me, a lot of computer games is about sound now.
Sure.
And I just finished Colossal Cave, my latest game,
Yes.
and I did all the sound on it, and I did have one little speaking role, but
Did you?
yeah.
What'd you do?
Well, I don't know what I want to say.
Oh, okay.
It was toward the end of the game.
Okay.
The
cool.
very end of the game. If
Well-
you get to the end of the game, you'll hear my voice, and it'll sound kind of like what it sounds like right now.
Okay.
A little higher pitched though.
Cool.
But no, I did all the sound in Colossal Cave, and I was really into it. I really loved working with sound, music, sound effects.
Yeah, Foley and stuff like that.
All of it, and that just watching him walking, because I did a lot of work with footstep sounds.
Yeah.
Going on different surfaces, gravel and sand and grass and weeds and
Yeah.
and so this just seems so quiet for me.
I know. It's really peaceful.
Very peaceful.
And we just got a gigantic egg. And this was my first exposure to how in Sierra games you can put stuff in your pocket that is
Yeah.
quite large.
Yes.
Pretty deep pockets on
Yes.
King Graham.
Yes.
Let's see. Go south. So, in this, I mean, there's a real charm. To me, these video games were very, very beautiful considering the graphics limitations at the time. Like, these are the stuff that looks like confetti over here. Those are flowers. Took me a minute
I
to
was
figure that out.
actually wondering
Yeah.
for myself. I probably knew at the time.
Of course. So you push this rock here. With a heave and a hoe, you manage to move the rock, revealing a dark hole underneath it.
Now I wonder how you knew to push on that rock. Was there a clue? Did you do like look rock or something?
I honestly can't
I wonder
remember.
if I would have put a clue there if you had said look rock, like, oh, I might have seen the edge of maybe a hole.
Right. I think I was at the time, like, I was a little kid and I just had so much time, on my hands for anything. So you just
Try everything.
Yeah,
everywhere.
interact over and over with everything that stuck out. So then kind of just look in the hole. There's an intricately carved dagger in the hole. So take the dagger. You reach into the hole and grasp the dagger, being careful not to cut yourself. And the thing I always liked was you could then look at the dagger in your possession, and its handle is beautifully carved and the blade is bronze and very sharp. So
Interesting that it's bronze
I know.
and not steel.
It's fine.
I don't know what I was thinking at the time.
I'm sure it looks great. As long as it stabs someone, that's all that's important.
that's all that really matters.
Although it's such a non-violent game for the most part. But we'll get to all
Well,
that.
I think you can probably. I'm pretty sure you can die in this game. In fact, I know you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dying for me, I know there's always been a certain amount of controversy over dying in these games.
Sure.
You know, and King's Quest was always, you know, designed and marketed for families, you know, for kids and families, and yet you can die. And so there's always been a little bit talk about, well, if this is for kids and kids can play it in families, well, how come you can die? And honestly, in those days when we were not just in our company, but some of our competitors, dying was kind of ubiquitous. It's just kind of what you did.
Sure.
But dying isn't like dying.
Right,
You know, the way I look at it, it's more like if you play a board game, let's say, and you get a card, you pick a card or something, and it says, oh, you have to go, you know, you're out of the game.
Yeah.
Or you just play it badly and you have to leave the game, and your other people are still playing because you did a bad job or you took a bad card. Well, you're just out of the game.
Right.
You didn't really die. You're just not playing it anymore.
Absolutely. Mario falls off platforms constantly.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not like a real death.
Yeah, and I think it was good because, well, first of all, like these characters don't look like people, so it wasn't like gore or anything like that.
Like we're very oh no, I died.
Right, and also I thought it was good because like it teaches kids there's consequences for actions. Like don't go near the cliff.
That's right.
So we are now in the Woodcutters' house, and so let's look, man. Whoops. The woodcutter is thin and dressed in rags. Look, woman. The woodcutter's wife is skinny and poorly dressed.
We obviously want you to know they're poor.
Exactly.
And they have holes in their floor.
Yes, and they're hungry.
And they're hungry. Oh, they might like that bowl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This family is so poor they can't even repair the floor. So, give bowl. The woodcutter family is very grateful that you have given them a bowl of stew. Now they will have at least one last meal. As a token of their gratitude, they offer their last earthly possession, the woodcutter's fiddle. And so now I remember feeling very happy to see their hands move in an excited manner. And Togman, welcome to my humble abode. Okay. And so I guess we just have to go grab the fiddle ourselves.
Yeah, they're
avoiding the holes.
probably not going to get up and get it for you.
Yeah, not with that stew.
No, that's too.
Just
and they don't
calling to
even
them.
know at this point that they can refill it.
That's right. That's right.
See, they think it's just for a last meal.
They're in
But
for quite a treat.
yeah, they are, aren't they? A nice surprise.
The fiddle is a beautiful instrument made of polished wood. So take fiddle.
Uh-huh.
And the polished wood feels like satin. It seems to still vibrate from the last song I played. And I think you can play it, right?
I don't know.
You play a lively toe-tapping tune on the fiddle.
Now, see,
Oh,
there
there
we
it
go.
is.
I was going to say, this should be a place where we did that.
There it was.
Yeah, there it was. Well, at least we did it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, and that's another thing. Like, in 1984, I mean, I remember it. You weren't expecting anything. So if a sound happened, you were like, oh my God. It was like in a Pavlovian experiment when you're a dog and you hear the bell ring, that means you did something good. It's like, all right, fantastic.
I want to do that again.
Absolutely. So now we've got a bunch of good stuff.
Can you do anything with that water?
With the spigot?
With the spigot, yeah, or the
Let's
pump.
see. Look, pump. It is an ancient rusty water pump. Probably doesn't even work. Let's see. Use pump. The rusty pump doesn't work.
Oh, so it's just there as a decoration.
Yeah,
looks like.
but I guess it also, drives home the point that things are not great
Yeah.
in Woodcutter Town.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Can't we get the axe? I know we can't, but I mean, what?
Oh,
I'm
sure.
just wondering if
what happens?
if you say get axe or.
I think
or
it
something.
mentioned that the handle was broken. Let's see. Or
I'm just trying to see what all I
Sure.
did.
The old axe is tightly wedged in the tree stump. You cannot remove it no matter what you do. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Just establishing he's a woodcutter.
Yep.
And
And you have to have some of your ornamentations around.
yeah, of course.
And but then you have to make sure, because people are going to want to try to get it, or that you have, figured that out, that you have to have an answer for that.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that you could interact with some things but not others added to the intrigue a little bit, Oh, that's right. Okay. Let me save the game because I can definitely blow it here.
That well looks awfully big in comparison to him.
I know.
We didn't do proportion very well, I guess, in those days.
This is for Aaron because every time he sees a well, he goes, well, well, well. So there's a little shout out to him because I know he would have been happy to do that. Yeah, so this was tricky for me as a kid because, let's see, how did it work? Well, you have to cut the rope with the dagger, and so you're able to take the bucket that way. And then this was a little hidden, but this piece sticking out here, that's a crank up from the roof. So
what piece? I'm trying to see it.
If you use crank, you'll see it.
Oh.
Oops. How does that work? How do I? Let's see. Lower rope. The rope descends into the darkness. So,
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that took me a little time, but
well, that wasn't very good of us to have it up like that.
Oh, that's okay. Water under the bridge.
Yeah. Water under the well.
Yeah, exactly. So climb rope. And so this was where I really started to get into this game because I was like, oh my God.
I could go down the well.
Exactly.
Because kids always want to know what's down there in a well.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then
there's water down there. That's what's down there.
And you have to type in swim or else you'll drown. And then let's see. How do I get down here? Oh yeah. So I believe you have to hit dive. Okay, there we go.
What a good swimmer he is.
I know. It's fantastic. That's also quite a large bottle.
Yeah. And a can or whatever it is.
It looks like this bottle has been here for a very long time. Yeah, I like the can too. It suggests that in King's Quest Land, Coca-Cola exists. Look, dragon. This ferocious fire-breathing dragon with sharp green scales and a long tail is protecting the magic mirror. Watch out for the flames. So if you get a little too close, you die. But because you dove, if you look at the bucket...
you're wet?
Yeah, exactly. The old bucket is full of water now. So, oh man, classic parser stuff. You have to type it in advance and then walk over and hit go.
Well, because you can't type it in fast enough for hand-eye, for quick reactions.
Exactly. Although when I tried, it did improve my typing skills tremendously growing up. The water hits the dragon squarely in the mouth, extinguishing its roaring flames. No fire. How mortified and embarrassed the dragon is. Moving a huge boulder and leaving, the dragon creeps off to sulk. I gotta tell you, I also loved that because I'm a big dinosaur lover. Yeah, as you can see, she just pointed around our office where there's tons of dinosaur stuff. So I didn't want to kill the dragon, and the fact that he just got annoyed always made me really happy.
Oh.
So there's our magic mirror, the first of the 3 treasures. So
yep.
Look, mirror. The magic mirror is framed with ornate mahogany wood, polished to a high sheen. So take the mirror. Carefully, you pick up the magic mirror. All set. So we're doing great. We're a third of the way through.
Look at your inventory.
Sure. I don't understand.
How do you look at what you're carrying?
Great question.
I'm wondering if we did it.
Oh, there it is.
There.
Tab.
Okay.
So we've got some stuff.
4-leaf clover, magic mirror, fiddle, carrot, water bucket, gold egg, and walnut. Okay.
All right.
So that's because I was just wondering how we did that. It's not very aesthetically wonderful, but at least it's there.
Yeah, and I do like that you could look at things and get like a close-up view of them.
Yeah.
The smooth golden egg shines brightly in the sunlight. And I mean, like, it's so, it's tough to compare this to games that came after it, because at the time, like, there was nothing like this.
That's right.
This was totally
It was
unique.
ahead of its time. Hard to believe looking back at it now.
Yeah,
But it was. It definitely was.
Let's see. How do I enter? There we go. Okay. So now I have to swim way back. And just something about this, too, like this design.
Well, one of the things you notice when you were swimming, that you're going behind some of that seaweed.
Yeah, I love that.
And one of the things that I wanted to do was try to get a 3D, have some 3D graphics or a 3D look. And at the time, of course, there's no computer that could do true 3D like we do now.
Sure.
But I still wanted to have a sense of some depth. So you can walk behind. See how he's behind the well?
Yes.
You can walk behind trees, the seaweed, you could swim behind it. So that does give you a little sense of depth to the land. We always kind of called this 2.5D.
Yeah.
That's the way we referred to it.
It makes sense. And it certainly worked, because I think we might have mentioned this when you came and played Colossal Cave with us. When you actually look at this screen, as an adult, you see like a big field of green, you see how it truly looks.
Yeah.
But man, when you were a kid, you saw like the world of Tolkien and the world of Mother Goose in them. It almost was a positive thing in a way, because it allowed your imagination to run wild.
Yeah.
Instead of doing all the work for you,
Right.
So I think that's another reason why these games meant so much to people.
Yeah, well, it's like for me as a little girl, like I said, we didn't have computers, and I would have loved to have games like this. I mean, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
And so I can understand how you feel, because I know that obviously I did this, and I don't think I could have done this without knowing that I would have loved this.
It's the best way to do things. My granddad was an inventor, and I asked him how he came up with some of the stuff that he did, and it was very simple. He said, find a need and fill it. And that's kind of what you did, It's you made the game that you wanted to play.
That I wanted to play.
Yeah, how cool.
That I could do it now with computers. But as far as you using your own imagination and fill in the story and around it, or how you want it to look in your mind, it comes from books.
Right.
Because I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Children's books or fairy tales or whatever type that I would read in, say, grade school. Or maybe middle school. By high school, I was a little different.
Sure.
I kind of got out of some of that.
You get into other stuff.
Yeah, I got into other stuff. But grade school especially. And I would read Alice in Wonderland and
my favorite.
Wizard of Oz, and fairy tales and those kind of adventure books.
Yes.
And I would just picture it all in my mind, and what I'd imagined was beautiful.
Yeah. No
it
question.
was beautiful.
The same world. And and here's a goat. So we grabbed a little pouch out of the stump, which is filled with diamonds. Look, goat. The goat is wandering this way and that. This was also the second appearance of a goat in your games, because the Black Cauldron had
yes,
Taran.
That's right.
Because he was a pig farmer.
God, I forgot about Black Cauldron.
I freaking love Black Cauldron. We played that on the show as well.
that was a good one. I worked with Disney on that.
That's amazing, because it's so funny too, because Disney, that is probably the least loved Disney movie out there. They don't like to, because it's so dark. John Hurt's skeleton characters bringing the undead corpses to life for his army.
How would it do? That was then, though, when it first came out. Does anybody watch it now?
I mean, I'll watch it all the time.
You do?
Yeah. I
Do you
bet
think
it would,
it'd do better in today's world than when it actually?
I think it would,
came
just
out?
because kids are more desensitized with
Yeah,
the internet. They
that's
see,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and plus, like, well, there's two things real quick. One was that they had all kinds of internal problems at Disney with that one, and they ended up cutting 15 minutes out of the movie, which apparently were critical to the plot, making sense.
I wonder what it was.
I don't know, but you do see in certain scenes, like, wow.
I wonder if I put it in the game.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
The other thing is that there's no songs in it. I think it's the only Disney movie without music.
And I think that's correct.
That was a real sticking point for people. But I don't know if you've ever read the Chronicles of Prydain, the books that they were based off of.
No.
But they are phenomenal. They're for young adults, but like just
So they maybe
beautiful.
thought that this would be for older kids.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I think that was the idea. But it almost bankrupted Disney.
It was interesting working with them, and because they would send their people up to Oakhurst, where our company was located in Central California, up in the mountains. Sierra Nevada is where our company got the name of Sierra.
Right.
But they would maybe once a month they would send a team of people up to Oakhurst to meet with me.
Wow.
And they gave me all the scripts, to the movie and all kinds of backstory stuff and pictures and graphics and scripts and everything like that. And they wanted to make sure that I completely understood it. And I said, well, I understand, and so I started designing it. And there was a time when, and we started programming it and doing the art for it. And there was a time when they came up and I met, this is kind of a real funny, and maybe this is one of these I shouldn't say, but why not? I'll do it anyway.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. Yeah. So they came up. It was probably a team of maybe 6 of them. And I'm not sure now what role they played. But one guy was pretty senior in Disney movies and cartoons, and so they were watching the game as we were putting it together, and they were going, I don't know about how you're doing this, Roberta. We don't know that you disagree. We're agreeing with you because you're not following the storyline.
Interesting.
And I said, well, I am following it, but you have to realize this is not a movie.
Right.
This is a game.
Right.
And they looked at me like, well, we know that. We know it's a game, but how are they going to know what the story is?
Right.
And I said, well, they will. They will. But they said, well, you just, we just don't know that we can let you just do what you want with our story.
Sure.
And I said, well, you have to understand, with these games, you have to let people explore.
Right.
That's what it's all about. I can pull the player back to the story. I know how to do that, but you got to give them some exploration and let them make some wrong choices.
Yes.
And then they said, well, and then he dies. He doesn't die in the movie. And I said, well, but this is a game.
Yes.
And we went on like this, and they were getting frustrated, and I was getting frustrated, and I went into Ken. We were in the conference room in Oakhurst, and I went into Ken's office. I said, excuse me for a few minutes. And I went into Ken's office. That's my husband, running the company. And I sat down in front of his desk and I said, I am not working with Disney.
You were not the first or the last person to say those words.
I am not working. They want to tell me how to design a game.
Right.
And I cannot go through that. They want me to change this back to be just linear. You just follow the script just the way it. And I said, I don't work that way.
Right.
And I'm quitting. I'm going to
No
quit.
kidding.
He said, sit there. I'll be back. So he went into the other room.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came back in after a while and he said, okay, you can go back in the conference room. And I went back in and they said, all right, Roberta, we'll let you do it your way.
No kidding.
No kidding
I
at all.
wonder what he said.
I stood up to Disney. I
Good
must
for
have been
you.
one of the few people in the world that stood up to Disney.
And I'm glad you did, because I think,
meant it though. I wasn't negotiating.
No, and I, in a way, I wish Lloyd Alexander, the writer of the books, had stood up to them a little more, because they certainly left out a lot of beautiful parts of his story. But you know, again, it is what it is. The things that it led to were wonderful, because, sorry, while we were chatting, I showed the goat the carrot.
Okay.
So now he's my buddy, and
following you.
and now we can
Yeah.
cross the bridge,
Yeah.
because there is a troll. As you start to cross the bridge, a wretched troll appears. It is a well-known fact that goats hate trolls intensely, and that's where I learned that.
Now you know.
Exactly. You should move aside and let the goat take care of this nasty troll. The goat butts the troll right off the bridge, never to be seen in these parts again.
Now you know in the game Colossal Cave, which I just completed not long ago, the same thing happens. There's a troll bridge.
Right.
But there's not a goat. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's another animal that may help you in this situation.
Oh, cool.
Same kind of situation.
It's special how animals were treated in these games, because there's such solitary quests, and then all of a sudden you have like a friend with you for a little while. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
And in a way, Gurgi was like that in the Black Cauldron. He was your little crunchings and munchings friend. I love that guy.
Yeah. Right, I guess forgot about that. But that was a kind of an interesting story about Disney.
That is amazing.
I looking back on it now and telling the story, I feel like I must have been really full of myself to some extent. But I can't. I think I kind of was back then.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being passionate about what you're doing and having
Well,
a
I knew
vision
they were
for it.
wrong.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
and I still know that. But the interesting thing is, the movie didn't do very well, but the game did.
Yeah,
The game did fine.
Absolutely.
It did great.
And it led to all these other games. And that's still my favorite Disney movie. John Hurt's performance is fantastic in it. He's
Go back and check out that movie again.
He's one of my favorite actors. Because I loved him from The Elephant Man, which I watched later.
Yeah.
I did not watch that as a kid.
Is he still around?
No, he died, I think, in 2017, 2018, something like that.
So he was a great actor.
Oh my God,
Yeah, he
Alien,
was.
and
Yeah.
he really he was something special. This house, by the way, which I loved the look of, because this is really beautiful.
This one turned out really well.
Yeah, for its time,
Yeah.
it's a very charming looking house.
Uh-huh.
And so you're not supposed to knock on the door. This is a gingerbread house. So with trial and error, I learned that you should eat the house. As you begin to eat
Did I say that it was a gingerbread house?
If you look at it.
Oh, okay. If you didn't look at it.
Exactly.
Then, okay. Yeah.
As you begin to eat the house, a squeaky voice from somewhere says, "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house?" So that means that the witch is home, and you do not want to go
And that,
in.
I believe, that quotation is from an old fairy tale.
Is that right?
I think so.
That's cool.
I think it was.
It has that feeling to it.
Yeah.
So you got to try to eat the house again. Oh, nope. And you just sort of keep going back and forth until you get, I think the message is like, "Yum, this house is good." Excuse me. And that means she's clear. Yeah, okay. The house tastes even better than it looks. So then you can open the door and head inside. And now you're in a witch's house, which is quite modern, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks very contemporary. It doesn't look at all like the outside.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think maybe I should have paid more attention to the interior of it.
That's okay. I didn't ask any questions. So you open the cabinet, and there's some cheese there.
I was going to say, it looks like cheese.
Sitting on the shelf is a delicious piece of Swiss cheese. So, off in the distance, you hear a high squeaky voice say, I can smell someone tasty in my house. So that means quickly we must take the cheese. You pluck the Swiss cheese from the shelf, close cabinet, and head over to this part of the house where the witch, when she enters, she won't see you. And this also made me feel good as a kid because I felt very safe, you know? I'm over in the safe part. The witch mutters, I'm going to get my oven ready to cook someone for dinner. Yum.
Someone.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, she's not that cool.
No.
Look note.
What is she doing?
It is written in a familiar language. Okay. Read note. Oh, okay.
Oh, you have to get it.
Yes.
Take note.
You grab the note from the table. Read note. The note reads, sometimes it is wise to think backwards. Okay. We'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I will save my game because, yeah, this witch...
Coming into dangerous territory now.
This witch has killed me so many times in my life. Witch, not cool. Okay, cool. I'm not the best at naming games. All right, let's see here. So I used to think, because of the palette limitations, you know, King Graham kind of blends in with the floor. I used to think maybe she'll think I'm camouflaged, but no such luck.
No, because you got some clothes on you that
Exactly.
is blue and red.
So push witch, because she is in front of her oven right now. The witch says, oops, okay, I apparently took too much time. The witch says my oven is now the perfect temperature. It is time to invite someone for dinner. Cackle, cackle. Rats. She has cast some spell to keep you from escaping. The witch remarks, oh, how nice of you to come for dinner. Okay, so...
Are you going to die now?
I am unfortunately going to die.
Okay, well, we'll watch you.
Cool. She pokes and pinches you, then states, this one is too scrawny, so it's into the cage until you fatten up. Smack. Yum. Oh, okay. I don't know how to...
Can you escape?
Get out of here.
I don't remember.
I'm just going to load the game. Whoop. With a flash, you hear her joyously exclaim, this thing has made me feel like I'm flying. I don't... Oh, okay. I'm finished.
Doing so, okay.
We at Sierra wish to thank you for
You
playing
can't
Kids
get
Quest.
out of there, it
Yeah,
looks like.
we're pleased to see that you're doing so well and hope your score will keep improving. That was a very nice thing for you to say.
Yeah, so now you have to hurry up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so load game. Oh. Restore game. Okay. All right. I won't waste any time. This is the other good thing about moving slowly throughout this game. It gives me a chance to...
Well, it was interesting for me because here I could put a timing puzzle in. You've got to get there quickly.
Exactly.
You know, so...
Courageously, you manage to push the witch into the oven where she flashes and melts away into a harmless blob. Congratulations!
Yay.
Oh, mazel tov.
Okay.
Okay, so the witch is dead, which is great. I can't remember if I was supposed to do something. Look oven. It is an old wood stove and very hot. The fire must have been burning for some time. No, I guess we just needed to kill her. Wonderful.
Well, I mean, why not? She's a witch.
Yeah.
Do you know what fairy tale this scenario is from?
Hansel and Gretel?
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Of course.
Which scared the holy hell out of me as a kid.
Because that's the way they dealt with the witch.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I think
right.
I think it was Gretel that did it. But I could be wrong.
Man, she's great.
Maybe wrong.
And
that maybe she had Hansel in a little cage or something, and Gretel pushed her. One of the kids.
So you worked the cage in there too?
Yeah.
How cool. Yeah, because those fairy tales really, the purpose of them was to teach kids, don't talk to strangers, don't be tempted by...
The fairy tales, these old fairy tales, some of them were very violent. And you wonder about them, you think, that's not, I mean, that seems like a horrible story. If you actually put it as a movie, you could some of these, You could almost say it was almost like a horror movie or
Yes,
something.
yes.
If you were to do that, but when you're reading it as a fairy tale, though, it doesn't really come across that way.
No.
But yet, in reality, is kind of a violent thing.
Yeah, you see how The Little Mermaid's a perfect example. A lot of times, Alice in Wonderland's another one.
Yep.
When Disney would get their hands on something, they would really sanitize it. But oh man, you read the originals and you're like, oh, that's not how that worked out.
Yeah,
as I
yeah.
recall.
Yeah.
High up in the sky, you see a very large, friendly bird, which is also nice because this reminded me.
That it looks like an eagle to me.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the Gwithaints from the Black Cauldron game, which would grab you and, it was not a good outcome. But this guy's here to help.
So it looks like you have to get right under him and have him grab you in just a certain spot.
Exactly. I think I have to jump when he comes down, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Come on, buddy. I remember you had to watch the pattern of where
he goes.
Yeah. It's so funny to breeze through this game when I can count days of my life dedicated to finding each and everything in this game. Okay, I thought he would come down this way, but maybe I'll give it one more chance. There we go. There we go.
Did you jump?
I did. I
okay.
hit jump.
Okay.
Where could this giant bird be taking you? This is always relaxing.
Is this Cloudland?
Yeah, I know. Look, bird. Now is not a good time to bother the bird. Great point.
That is true.
Yeah.
He's busy. Okay, we were out of Cloudland. Isn't there a Cloudland in this?
That is later when we climb the Beanstalk.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Beanstalk. Yeah, where else have I seen that in a game?
Yeah. Ouch.
Oh.
Okay, we're fine.
That wasn't very nice, the way he dropped you.
For a big friendly bird, I didn't have the best of times with him.
Well, you didn't die.
Exactly.
You're okay.
You know what? That's how I'm going to save this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, oops. I didn't die. Great. Okay, so we're doing pretty well. We're actually 2/3 of the way through, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, not bad. So I believe, let's see.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can get through it fairly quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think in real time, I started playing this when I was maybe 7 or 8, and it took me about 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
To get through it?
Well, sure, because my parents didn't want to spring for the hint book.
Oh.
So
really? You think it was that hard, huh?
I think so. Well, if you got hung up, unless you had a friend that knew how to do it, there was no internet,
That's true.
Yeah, so you're just kind of
But we did do a hint book, and you could have called Sierra.
I did call the hint line once or twice.
Yes.
And then my parents saw the long distance charges, and they were like, you know what? Figure this out on your own, buddy.
Okay.
The mushroom is large and aromatic. Okay, so we're gonna take this big mushroom. You reach down and pick a fat mushroom. Great. So.
I wonder what the mushroom is. Is it like a? Well, we'll find out.
Yes.
Will it make you larger
Either,
or smaller?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Okay. Wonder what that came from.
Oh man,
that would have been Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. My one of my all-time favorites.
Uh-huh.
And so here's a hole that it's actually good to fall into. So that's a plus.
Yep.
And let's see. I forget what's down here.
Actually, it's funny watching this. Because sometimes I'll look at these old games and I'll go, "Oh God, I can't believe what they look like back in back then." But now, just sitting here with you and just kind of quietly going through it,
I'm
actually kind of proud of it.
I know you should be. You absolutely should be.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of charm to it.
It does have charm to it.
That's still intact.
I cannot believe that, but yeah, it does.
Oops. Fortunately, this rat won't get any closer to me than right here. So if I give him the cheese, the rat drools at the sight of the cheese and snatches it from your hand. You might want to count your fingers. So there he goes. The rat scrambles to the wall and seems to magically merge with it. So again, there's another chance where maybe another game would have had you kill the rat or do something, but you just give it some cheese and everything's cool.
Yeah, most of it is pretty good. For kids.
I love it.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And even the dying is fun. Is kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, we haven't seen a lot of dying.
No.
Oh, well, that's because you know what to do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're avoiding it.
The leprechauns revere the power of the four-leaf clover. With it in your possession, they will leave you absolutely alone. So that I had grabbed that four-leaf clover earlier, but
yeah.
I think they kill you if
you don't have it.
If you don't have it, yeah. Which, because my only other exposure to leprechauns at the time was the guy from the Lucky Charms box, and I could not believe he would betray me in such a manner.
Oh.
So let's see. You go down here.
Oh, there's more.
There's a ton of them.
But they leave you alone now.
Yes, I guess that's the sound of leprechaun chatter. Play fiddle. You find playing the fiddle here very fun, but the dance floor is in the other room. Okay.
Because they're Irish.
Yeah. Was that the reason?
Yeah, well,
I never put that together.
Well, because the Irish, they have their fiddle playing.
They love it, yeah.
They love to play the fiddle.
I've seen Riverdance.
Yeah.
Leprechauns love fiddle music.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen such frenzied dancing?
Yeah, see, my mom is Irish. And,
oh, cool.
Pretty much Irish all the way. And I wrote a book about it on my mom's side, Farewell to Tara, which is out there at Amazon.
No kidding.
If anybody wants.
When is that from?
When I wrote it?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I did. It's a whole story, in and of itself, but it's out there.
That's cool.
Actually, I meant to make it like a 3-part like trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have the first one. I have to write the others.
Don't worry, George Martin has been working on Game of Thrones book 6 for like 10 years. It's fine.
Yeah, but anyway, my mom's grandfather was and they were all Irish in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't, they came from Ireland, but my mom's grandfather. Was he born in Iowa? Well, anyway, he was a champion fiddle player in Iowa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he was the best Irish fiddle player in Iowa at the time.
And you worked it into the game? Or did
no,
that
well,
provide
I must have.
inspiration,
I knew that he was a fiddle player. I knew that Irish music. In cartoons, you see Irish people with their fiddle,
sure,
and they're dancing. Think about like the movie Titanic.
Oh yeah.
Where they're dancing on the table and everything, and you see fiddle players. They're Irish.
And
they're dancing.
I just
That's
saw
what
that movie
do.
for the first time like a couple of months ago.
Titanic?
Titanic, yeah.
Oh.
I somehow, because I was 18 when it came out and everyone was seeing it like 5 times in the theater. And I have this weird thing where like, if everyone in the world is into something, I'm not into it. Yeah. So it took me, I guess, like 30 years to see it. But man, it was a sob fest.
So you liked it when you finally saw it.
It was outstanding.
And now you know why people see it over and over again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't watch it. I'm going to need a year.
Yeah. Yeah. but when they were up there dancing, on the
part.
down in the hold of the ship, that's what Irish people, they're into dancing and fiddle playing, and they're very fun people actually.
Yeah, I could watch that scene.
And they're storytellers. Irish people are known to be storytellers.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like I got some of my my tendency for storytelling and writing from my mom's side of the family.
Oh, that's cool.
They're all very Irish.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood, I think.
So the King Leprechaun, now that his friends left, has no desire to hang around.
Goodbye.
So there's the shield. Did I spell that wrong? Yeah.
There you go.
It is made of titanium and is rimmed with jewels. Take shield. So now we've got two of
the treasures.
Yes. Take the magic shield and carefully put it in your pocket. Thank God for those Levi's jeans.
No, I think maybe they're more like cargo pants. With the extra pockets.
Exactly. Eagerly you pick up the scepter. So now I've got a scepter, which also good. And now...
See, if I had to do this over again, I would have made sure he had like a knapsack on his back.
Oh, sure.
Something like that, But in those days...
Nobody even questioned it.
No, they didn't question. Yeah, well, you have your inventory, That's
sure.
It.
And this was another moment. This is a classic moment where if you don't do this correctly, you've just blown it completely. You have to eat the mushroom.
Uh-huh.
As soon as you swallow the first bite, you have this strange shrinking feeling. It's true, you are now no bigger than a mouse, but it only lasts a short time. So if you don't get out of here, you feel
stretching
a strange
sensation.
Oh, you're back to your original size. So wonderful. But if I didn't do that, I can't remember if I have to go all the way. Oh, no.
It's so funny because
you're just stranded.
In Colossal Cave, where you get sent somewhere by magic in the cave, I wrote, you feel a pulling sensation. Just like that. You feel a pulling sensation.
You've come so far.
Here's a stretching sensation.
It is funny to look back. It's like looking back at old journal entries of yourself almost, you know?
Well, and how things are somewhat repeated, especially if the same person is working on another game.
Sure.
You borrow a lot. You borrow a lot more than you think.
Well, you see your own interests.
I mean, I borrowed when I did Phantasmagoria. I borrowed a lot from Mystery House. And with Laura Bow, The Colonel's Bequest, I borrowed from Mystery House. And then so Phantasmagoria, I borrowed from both Mystery House and The Colonel's Bequest for the house. There's a lot of continuity between the old house in Phantasmagoria and the house in Colonel's Bequest and the Mystery House.
Yes.
So you borrow, and and just you're not remaking it, but you're taking something that already works well.
Yeah.
And and enhance it or
it's a little bit like how they they say that sometimes algorithms know you better than you know yourself a little bit. It just being able to look objectively at something you did a while back, you realize I guess I must really be into this idea. There's something appealing about this. Let's see. I just grabbed some pebbles off the beach. And then I should say, it's only because I know this game so well. This world is much bigger than I'm showing.
Than you're showing.
Game. Yeah, because I'm only going to the right spots. But
right.
The world really has a lot of different places to explore that are just essentially building the place. Wandering on the banks of the lake, you see a cute little elf. Hello, friend. So let's talk to him.
Cute little elf.
Yeah. You are too far away. Which is good.
But he keeps walking around, so
I know.
you have to follow him.
It's funny how the elf is cute, but leprechauns will kill you. You walk a fine line in this adventuring business.
Well, I always thought elves were more or less nice.
Cool.
And cute.
I agree.
Yeah.
At least the Keebler ones.
Yeah.
The elf, impressed by your friendliness, gives you a magic ring. Kind person, know that only once, this ring will make you invisible, he says, and then disappears. Well,
only once.
Yeah, that's a nice elf right there.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Why would he think that you would want that?
I know. I guess I always assumed that he could just, elves just could pick up on people's vibes, and he knew you were trying to do the right thing.
Or he had a whole series of rings.
Yeah,
Here, want a ring?
Or maybe he's a hustler. Hard to say, truly. So the other thing that made it easy on me as a kid was you need to wear this ring pretty much right away.
Are you wearing it? Did you say wear ring?
Not quite yet.
Oh.
But yeah, it's...
it's a timing thing.
I'm not positive if it is, but I think...
See, I forgot this game, so...
No, you know what? I think you're right. I think I did that wrong. I think I did need to wear it immediately. Let's see.
Did you save your game?
Yeah, good point. No, I think if I wear it now, it's okay. Let's see. You slip the beautiful ring on one of your fingers. Okay, yeah, because it's not activated until
you do it.
Yes, exactly.
But then you only have a short time to use it? Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. So we can cross the bridge because the troll is dead, thanks to our friend the goat. Okay.
And now we have a gnome.
Yes, a crotchety old gnome pacing around his lean-to. I learned what a lean-to is as a result of this game. That was helpful for me. And talk gnome. The old gnome tells you he has something that may be very useful to you. Your task is to guess his name in 3 guesses, and his gift will be yours. Good luck. What is your first guess? Okay, so this, full disclosure, this was one I had to call Sierra for.
Okay.
Because this one was impossible. So that's Rumpelstiltskin, as I've learned. And I thought that I typed in Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah, this one because I did the parsing, all the words that you have to type in.
Yes.
I had to go through the entire game and try to figure out what are people wanting to type in.
Sure.
What do they want to type in, and try to get all that there. But then I also did some synonyms.
Yes.
So you didn't have to type in just the exact word. It could be a synonym or something very close to it. So I tried to be very good about that. In this case, with Rumpelstiltskin, I had it where there were 2 ways to type it in. I think it was you could do Rumpelstiltskin or Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh, yeah.
I think I put in both, but then you had to do it backwards.
Exactly.
But still.
That was the thing that confused me, because I tried to do it backwards, and that didn't work either. There are 2 different ways. I think if you say that, he'll give you a key. There's 2 different ways to do it, but essentially the very right way to do it was to reverse the alphabet and then type in Rumpelstiltskin with the letters that correspond.
Yeah, that's right.
And I just have such a clear memory of talking to someone at Sierra as they very patiently explained.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
We have it written down.
Now that you said that, I wanted to be very tricky on that one.
That was a good one.
And it was a hard name anyway.
That one rocked my socks when I was a kid.
But that is from from the story of Rumpelstiltskin that I think, trying to remember stuff, that whoever the main character was, I don't know if it was a princess or a prince. Usually these fairy tales, the main character is either a princess or a prince.
Right, of course.
Or somebody that wants to marry one.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it was I think it was like a prince or something, and he gets thrown into like a shed, and with some golden hay, something about golden hay, but he couldn't get out until by this gnome until you knew his name.
Yeah.
And you had to tell him in the fairy tale what his name was, and then he would let you out. So that's where this idea came from.
Full disclosure, after I got this correct, after the person at Sierra had told me, I got this screen, which was, that's right, you've guessed it. Here are some magic beans for your outstanding accomplishment. And I was so proud at the wording that I called my parents in and showed them, look, I had an outstanding accomplishment.
I must be really good.
Yeah, so so I did win some brownie points with my parents, I guess. They thought they had a gifted kid on their hands.
Because it said so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, the game, it knows. So we take the beans, being careful that you get every one of them, you place the beans in your pocket. Okay, so this is where the game got really tough. For that reason, I want to go
You had to find the place
east.
To plant them.
Yes, you had to find the place to plant them, and also the beanstalk itself was quite something to get up.
Yeah.
You're probably going to see a lot of falling. Whoops. But that's okay. We persevere. And it was amazingly cool to go to create the beanstalk and go up into the cloud world, because it felt
well, for kids, you wanted, what is up there?
Exactly.
That's a place you can never get to. It's up higher and in the sky.
The beans immediately sprout roots that reach deep into the fertile soil. Leaves unfold themselves to the warm, loving sun. A rumbling is felt, and a mighty beanstalk now stretches up into the sky.
How did you know that is the spot to do it?
I remember walking around, and I think it was my mom that said, like, maybe a dirt patch would be the place to plant beans. And
There's not many dirt patches.
yeah, this was the biggest one.
The biggest
that was
one.
close by. I mean, the other answer is I probably walked around every screen.
And tried everywhere.
Yeah, to touch it, hitting plant beans
Plant
1,000
bean,
times.
nope. Plant bean, nope.
Let's save game. So the best way to do this is to go back and forth with 2 saved games. So there's Beanstalk 1. Climb Beanstalk. Okay, all right. So far, so good.
Yep.
That was still close enough to the ground where it doesn't kill you. Okay, climb Beanstalk. Okay.
Yeah, I think the goal is try to stay as much in the middle as you can.
Yes.
Not to go too far either way.
So now we'll save game Beanstalk 2 and then just go back and forth saving.
Yep.
Because the worst thing you could do would be to like start falling and then accidentally save your game as you were falling.
Oh.
And then, yeah, and then like you had many horror stories of having to start the game over. Whoops, there goes one. Will this kill me? I think this might kill me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're fine. I love the funeral march too. Okay, Beanstalk 2. Let's try up here. Oops! Wow, boy, that is tough.
that's tricky.
Yeah. So there's going to be some of this. I apologize.
That's okay.
I wish I had oops. Let's see. Is there restore game is F7. Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, let's see if I will try. I will just go really savvy with it.
Yeah. Don't mind me.
Don't try to be a hero.
Take your time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just do a little of that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to go over to that right there.
For sure.
You've been doing that and falling each time, so don't go over there.
Okay.
Not quite yet. Do a little more.
A little more?
Now to the right.
Okay. I'm going to
Little
save
bit.
it just in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh.
Good call.
Ah.
Let's do, was it Beanstalk? Okay, yeah. So just keep going up straight.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, now I know how high I can go.
Yes.
This is how we'll do it.
Go up till right there.
Okay, save it again. Save that as Beanstalk 1. And then shift over. Okay, save it again. Boy, this really brings me back. Okay, and then let's see how high we can go. Okay, that's amazing. We'll just
Yeah, it's good to do that. Do it this way.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Okay. Let's see how high it'll let me go. Okay.
Oop,
Right.
Not much.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's. Is there another? I can't remember if there's another
Another screen?
round of Beanstalk
I don't
after
know.
this. It's A-okay. This is good.
Looks like you're right in the middle.
Yeah. We're progressing. It's so funny because Black Cauldron had something similar to this where you're climbing the diagonal rope up the mountainside, and I could not do it for the life of me. And then Aaron just did it in a heartbeat.
Huh.
So, yeah, okay.
Oh, there you go. Another screen.
Okay, cool. We'll just save this here. So, it may very well be that the fault lies with me. Let's just see how high it'll let us go. Oh, well. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe save. I'd save.
Yes.
Oh,
That's okay.
But you remembered where
Yes.
you went to.
It was right around
Yeah,
here.
right there. Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, let's see. Wow, okay.
Yeah. I think you went
Too far.
too far over to the right.
Okay.
Maybe there. Yeah. Ooh.
Goodness gracious.
Huh.
Okay. I wonder, would it be over here?
Maybe.
That feels
Wrong.
odd.
It feels.
Yeah, it certainly
Yeah.
felt wrong. Okay.
Move over just a tiny bit to the right. Right.
A little more?
Well, wait. I'm trying to think. It will go up and we'll see what happens there.
I feel like I should save it just in case. It does teach you, like, this slow and steady kind of approach to things. Yeah, wow. Okay, cool. That was a good move. Okay.
Okay, so there. Yeah, let's try that. Right there.
Oh, I see. It sends you behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just keep saving because now we're real close.
I can't believe we would have put another screen of that.
Okay, it'll let me get up to there.
Yeah, this would be almost impossible without saving and restore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so save.
In this day and age, people seem to have maybe a little less patience.
I think. Yeah.
I think we'd say, okay, if you press a certain button, we'll highlight for you where the
right.
where the actual lines are that you follow to get up.
Well, the thing I think about is how, for a lot of people, this was maybe their only game,
Uh-huh.
So you really did have time to, like, just really sit with it. Okay, we made it. Congratulations.
Yeah.
There we go.
But it wasn't without help.
Yeah. It's okay. All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're in Cloud Town.
Uh-huh.
And I remember getting up here. I was now in 3rd grade when I got to this part of the game. Because I remember this was like, I'm officially older and wiser. And so this was where we encountered the giant, right?
Yep. Yeah. I would think it would be with the Beanstalk.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I would think it would be.
I can't remember if he kills me immediately. Let's see. Good times. Good fun days. Oh, yeah, there he is.
There he is. Look at the big boots.
Yeah. You are fortunate that you have the magic shield, or this giant would cause problems for you. Okay. So, he...
Oh, he's carrying...
He's carrying the treasure chest.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes. So, look, giant. The enormous giant has been carrying that heavy chest for longer than he can remember.
And he's tired of carrying it.
Yes. The magic chest appears to have been fashioned from ebony and rimmed on the edges with gold. So, this took me a while to figure out, too, because I figured I'd been spared, so I had to just run away. But in fact, you just kind of have to hang out a little bit with the giant, and then he passes out.
Oh, from being tired?
Yes, from being exhausted.
He goes to sleep?
Well, and I mean, in retrospect, there were clues to that, because it does keep talking about how exhausted he is.
Well, again, I think that comes from the Jack and the Beanstalk.
The fee-fi-fo-fum.
Well, I think that, I mean, I could be wrong on this, but, I'm getting a little past the whole fairy tale age.
Right.
But I believe that in Jack and the Beanstalk, I think that the giant does go to sleep.
Mm.
And when he goes to sleep, that's when you can do the things that you need to do.
Right. Was that the golden goose?
Yeah, I think it was the golden goose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. What luck. The huge giant fell fast asleep.
Yeah. So that's where this idea. See, a lot of these ideas just came from the stories
the fairy tales.
themselves.
Yeah, it helped if you were well versed.
Yeah, if you were well versed in it, yeah. But if you're not, then it would be a little tougher.
So we've got the giant's chest now. That I guess that sound is him snoring.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, can you hear it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds more like not what is the word I'm looking for? Scratching. What do you call it when something scratchy sound on a TV or something?
Oh, like static.
Static.
Yeah.
Like static. It sounds more like static.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was a limited
works.
palette.
Yeah.
And down here in the corner of Cloudtown,
Mm-hmm.
there is a little hole in the tree, and with King's Quest, every hole in a tree.
Yes, you want to look at
Exactly.
or go in it or whatever. Yeah.
You notice a sling in the hole in the tree. Take sling.
Now the sling is from.
David and Goliath.
It is from David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm trying to think. Is it also from Jack and the Beanstalk?
Oh, maybe it is.
I think it might be from the actual
Yeah.
Jack and the Beanstalk. I think it is.
Yeah, I think he does kill the giant.
Yeah.
With
And that obviously came from David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. I think we probably could have killed the giant with the sling, but much nicer to just let him fall asleep.
Yes. Yeah.
There were multiple ways to do this.
Yeah.
And
Because he wasn't really hurting you. Not
no,
yet.
he was pretty cool.
Does he put you take you to his lair or whenever if you?
I believe in
that?
King's Quest IV, when you're Rosella, you're hiding in the giant's closet and you're looking at him through the keyhole, and then when he walks away, you grab the golden goose.
Okay.
From him. So I think that's what it is. Many stairs. But in this one, I think you just get away. But again, like, you take this pacifistic route through things, and it's
so
quite
funny
nice.
that you can't go diagonally down.
Oh, I know.
That's funny.
Stairs were tricky.
They were tricky in those days.
And then in King's Quest IV, someone had the audacity to put in a winding spiral staircase, which I thought was so funny.
And you still couldn't go down.
Oh no, you had to do it like this.
You had to do it like that. Yeah, obviously there was a programming issue with it.
Oh, but it just felt like another challenge. it was worth it. And so we're coming out of Cloudtown now.
Oh God, look at that.
I know.
Keeps going.
I love it. But again, like, stuff like this gave such a cool sense of scale.
Yep.
To a kid,
To make you feel like you're really going down a set of stairs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And same thing with the underwater scene, where it's sort of like a window and there's blackness around.
Mm-hmm.
There was something really, really cool about that. I'm not sure, but I think Sierra was the first to kind of do something like that and give it this sense of like mystery and like you're almost kind of looking into a window.
Yeah, you're going down like a tunnel and you don't know what's around you. Just mountain and rock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're finally here at ground level again. And King's Quest has sort of a peaceful ending. Now we're back here. You may have noticed. I think that's... Oh, is that what happens? I wonder if you can't guess Rumpelstiltskin's name, I think he gives you a key which might open this door, and then you just take the stairs up to the giant's area. But the Beanstalk is such more the classic way to do it.
Oh, I didn't know that you could do it this way.
I'm not positive, but that makes sense.
I wonder if we did that as when we figured that maybe the Beanstalk was just too hard.
Maybe.
Or maybe we just said, let's have two different ways of doing it. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I could remember some of this stuff.
Do you have like old notebooks and stuff?
I have some. I know I have. I think I have a notebook with King's Quest III.
Ooh.
I think that was.
There is a wolf.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Oh, I have the magic
Oh, you have
shield.
magic shield.
Cool. Whew.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because that wolf was way faster than me.
Yes. Now, I think I have at least one of, maybe two of the King's Quest design, notebooks with all the, the design descriptions and the maps and all the comments and all of the research and
Wow.
everything. The one I'm most proud of and love is Phantasmagoria.
I love
I
that
mean,
game too.
my notebook is really thick.
No kidding.
And it's got the entire script and what's the word I'm looking for? When you're putting together, not like a cartoon, but what is the term?
Storyboard?
Storyboard.
Yes.
Storyboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all storyboards and all comments and about everything and the puzzles and the dialogues, and it's really thick. That's probably going to be worth some money one day.
I'm sure. And I mean, because Phantasmagoria also has its like really hardcore fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard this last Halloween because I played it with Tori and Paul and some of the actors came on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that it was like 7 days. It was like 7 Sundays or 5 Sundays. Maybe it was 7 Sundays in a row.
Cool.
That we sat and played a chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And he invited some of the actors that had been in it, and the makeup lady, one time, and then me and Tori and him, and we played. It was really a lot of fun. And where was I going with this?
Storyboard?
Trying to think where I was going with it. Just maybe saving your files.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I was looking through all
I just
my
fell
whole
in the boat. Great.
the whole notebook and just saying, I had a lot of fun playing that one. I was wondering if I was going to enjoy it because I hadn't seen it in almost 30 years.
Right.
I can't believe that. And wasn't sure how it was going to hold up. And it held up. I thought it held up pretty good.
Amazingly well.
I thought it did. And Paul told me that it's kind of turned into a game that people want to play, on Halloween, like one of those Halloween things you do. And
Yes.
I went, really? Yeah. He says, yeah.
and it's super cool because, having talked to Paul and Tori quite a bit since then, Tori has said things along the line, and I mean, she said this publicly, so
Yeah.
I'm not talking out of school. When she looks back on her acting career, she's not excited about most of the things she did, and she loves the Phantasmagoria game.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. Like, in a way, you created like this highlight for someone's entire career.
It was. I was there, too. Not as much as them. They had to be there like literally every day. But
Yeah.
I would go. I was in Oakhurst, filming it with them in the studio. That was for 4 months. We did that. But we had moved to Seattle by this time, so I had to go back sometimes, and so I missed some of it. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
It's a special thing, and it's just. I remember when I was in. I went to France as an exchange student, and I saw these unicorn tapestries, the Lady and the Unicorn, and I was like maybe 19 or 20, and I was so moved by them, and I just remember my mom still has it. I wrote her a postcard.
Oh, you bought it?
No, the tapestries?
No,
they're priceless artifacts.
Oh no, I mean maybe copies or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they have copies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I sent a postcard from there to my mom, just saying like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I just hope that I do something that makes people feel the way that these things made me feel, And in a way, GameGrumps has been that, and it's cool because you can kind of look back at these games and know that you really did something that matters, you know?
Yeah.
It's a special thing. And
I've had letters over the years. I mean, some of the ones that really get to me is, or just people on the internet now. I mean, I used to get letters when we were no curse. I mean, again, there was no internet. And not even really email yet.
Right.
And people forget that. This is all relatively new.
Yeah.
But I would hear stories that, how my child had cancer and your games made him or her feel happy and not afraid and we were able to play together, and like in his last days, and you'd read some of that stuff and thanking me so much for doing this, and I would get letters like that, or parents saying, I loved playing these games with my children, or children now who are now your age saying, I loved playing these games of yours with my parents.
Yes.
And I mean, I got a lot of things like that, and it when we were at the fanfare this last summer, and I was and I guess I was kind of like the main person, I guess.
Sure.
There, and so there were long lines of wanting me to sign their an autograph on the things they had, box covers or hint books or whatever they had, and they just wanted to talk to me and tell me, most of them said, when I was growing up, and I was beginning to say, after a while, you made my childhood, or I knew what to do with my life, and all this. And after about 50 or so of them, I finally said, well, I think I feel like I'm a mother to a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to feel like,
Well, because you just do what you do, and you put it out there, and then.
But you don't really realize at the time when you're doing it how it's going to impact.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And affect other people's lives until later, And then you start getting the letters, or you hear about it, or on social media, or in person.
I was going to tell. Well, you know what? Here, let's just finish up the game.
Let's finish up the game.
And then we'll chat for a second. You move aside as the king steps from his throne. As you approach the throne, the king himself rises to commend you for a job well done. Oh, the king proclaims in pain.
He's so excited that he
just conks out.
He can't.
From the seemingly lifeless king, you hear these words. Well done, Sir Graham. You have been a good and faithful servant. Your reward is well deserved. My kingdom is now yours.
Now, that wasn't the best writing in the world. I'm not proud of that.
With those words, King Edward the Benevolent dies.
I could do better today. And I probably was even a little better on King's Quest 2.
Oh, sure.
I got a little better each time.
That's all I can ask for.
With my writing.
The experiences of your quest will be invaluable to you as you begin your reign as King of Daventry. Thank you for playing King's Quest from Ken and Roberta Williams. So surreal to read that, and you're right here, and Ken's hanging out in his car outside.
With the dogs in the car.
The dogs, yeah. And
is.
It's very special. And Greensleeves, this song was
I loved this song.
I was gonna say,
when I was a kid, it was one of my favorite songs.
Yep. It's just like the quintessential medieval song,
It is, and that's why we chose it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I used to sing it along when I'd hear it, and I got pretty good at singing that song when I was young.
Yeah. Oh, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Do you know what became of a lot of these folks, like Saul Ackerman and?
Saul Ackerman was married to my cousin.
No kidding.
No kidding, and she's actually on as in credits the beginning of the game. There might be. Is there another
like a
credit page?
Well, there you are, just kind of hanging out. I know Sierra did that with later games.
Well, her name is on the front. When you first put on the credits, there's a Linda Ackerman, and she was my cousin, and he was married to her. Notice I said was.
Right, sure.
They no longer are here with us.
Okay.
But the other names I didn't
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's
but
just
most of the names, yes.
Yeah.
I recognize.
How
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Some of them I don't. I think I must have worked with them with this one game. You know?
Sure.
So-
You never know where things will take you. But the thing you reminded me of, just regarding our conversation before, was have you ever read a book called The Last Unicorn or heard of the movie?
I've heard of it, but no. Should I watch it?
It's my all-time favorite. And
I should watch it.
yeah,
then.
I think it's really special. And the author, Peter Beagle, I went to sort of a fanfare thing like you're describing where someone stood up and asked him, it's in a room full of people dressed like the characters and stuff like that.
There was a bit of that there.
Sure,
yes, Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
And they're like, could you have imagined, when you wrote this thing in 1968, I guess, that 40 plus years later, you'd be here talking to a room full of people about it and that it would have grown into this thing. And he said, sometimes I sit by myself and I think, what have I done? Like, how did it grow to this?
Right.
And it really is a little bit of that. Like you feel like you just do
What you do.
exactly.
Do what you do.
And then it grows to this thing that you can't imagine.
And you wonder why too, to a certain extent, because it is funny because for me to design these games is not hard.
Sure.
It's pretty easy for me, and I don't know why.
Right.
I have no idea why. I just know I can do it, and I love doing it. I kind of feel sad that I'm not doing it now, but I'm older now and my life is different now. But I loved every minute of it.
That's wonderful.
Every minute of it.
And from the opposite perspective, well, I shouldn't say the opposite, but like seeing both sides of it, where like I started off just loving the creations and then becoming a creator of my own stuff, and then through that getting to know people like you and Scott, who I'm very close to. You really do see like I don't know if we're put on this world for a reason, but if we were, you would think that it's to do the stuff that comes naturally, And that's a good feeling.
I think the people that are lucky are those that find what they do naturally.
Yeah.
And many people don't.
Yeah.
And that's what's really sad for me. Because when I was young, when I was a kid, I knew what I wanted to do. My mom would remind me later when I grew up, and she'd say, you always said you wanted to write books, children's books, or be a script writer for a movie. I wanted to be one of those two things. So I knew I wanted to write, and I knew that I could tell stories, and I love to tell stories. I still tell stories. I don't think I can talk to anybody much without putting a story to it.
Right.
To this day. But I didn't know I knew how to do this because this didn't exist.
Right. No one knew how to do this.
No, nobody knew how to do this. And I played Colossal Cave in 79-80, the first adventure game, text, and I fell in love with it because of my storytelling and reading and just all of that. And then I wanted to do it. I knew this is what I wanted to do from that. That told me. And it's funny that a lot of people, like at the fanfare or where I meet them, they say you were my inspiration.
Yeah.
Because now I'm working with computers or in the computer world or, designing or artistry or whatever, and I'll say, I had an inspiration too, and it was Will Crowther, mostly, and Don Woods, but Will Crowther, because they inspired me with Colossal Cave.
Yep.
And that's how I learned what I could do, which I didn't know, and it was fate. I really feel that I really do feel you're put on earth to do something.
I hope that's
I think
the case.
everybody, but not everybody can find it.
Yeah, I like to believe that. The way I think about it sometimes is you make the decisions you make in life because they all seem right at the time, you know? And
Something pulls you.
exactly. And if you could go back and try to quote unquote fix the stuff that you got wrong the first time around, you wouldn't know what you know now. So you probably would have made the same decision over again. So maybe in that sense, there is some kind of fate because you're on this path doing what you feel is right at the time.
I just know after finishing that game, Colossal Cave, which at the time was just a plain old text, but for whatever reason, I was pulled right into it, and I couldn't stop playing it until it was done. And then I said, I have to do this. I mean, it was like, I have to.
Yeah.
And I'd never had that before in my life, ever, that pull like that.
And you just never know what people are going to connect to, because the amazing thing, for me at least, is, you know, the audience knows this, but I started doing music and comedy when I was 19.
Comedy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, yeah, because the main thing, some people would classify GameGrumps as comedy. Not everyone.
Well,
but,
I mean, are you a comedian? Do you do stand up?
Well, a comedy musician.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, the first 15 years of my career could not be seen as anything other than going nowhere. And, you know, I don't want to say failure because I did learn a lot, but like,
Well, yeah.
but
yeah.
certainly not success. And
You learn, you get successful from your failures.
for sure.
If you learn from them.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
key.
Yeah, the whole just don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
That's the key for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But of course, like, you know, I was in all these bands that I thought, like, this is it. This is going to be the thing. And then they weren't. And strangely, the one that caught on was the one where we sing about dinosaurs and, you know, unicorn, like ridiculous. Exactly. So, you know, you just never know which way things are going to go. And a lot of times the best things in your life are an accident, you know, and it just, from you describing all the circumstances that had to come together for Sierra to become what it became and for you to create all these awesome things, it just,
You don't know why.
Yeah, you're like,
know,
I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know if it was fate. Maybe it's both at the same time.
I don't know. I just feel lucky.
Yeah.
I feel lucky that I found what I can do, and I loved it. But but it also tells you that to be really successful in life, you have to find your passion.
Yeah. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I think what you're saying is that, you know, we're fortunate.
We are.
To get to do something fun with your life, and you know, I and my friends who are seething with jealousy right now that I'm sitting here, you know, we are very grateful to you, and I know it can be weird. Yeah, I know it can be weird to hear.
It is. You know, you get a little shy. You know.
Yeah, because all you were doing was doing what you wanted to do. You know, but like, it had the added bonus of really making a difference. I want
every single thing I did, though, I want people to enjoy it, and I want them to have fun. You know, it's. I mean, you know, the success that you get from it is nice, but I care more about that they're enjoying it. You know, that they're having fun, they like it, they want more. That gives me much more pleasure than the success.
Of course.
You know. But obviously that goes hand in hand, but still.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
I care a lot.
Yeah, and I hope revisiting this stuff is
it's fun.
Is fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I've had a lot of fun today, and just like with Phantasmagoria, and to just go over it with people playing it and commenting on it, and in the case of Phantasmagoria, actors in it, and. I mean, it's nostalgic for me, but it's fun too. I like it a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, you done good, Roberta.
Thank you.
And I mean, Aaron couldn't be here today, but we certainly
Well, say hi to Aaron.
I will.
For me.
We loved having you.
I
and
missed him.
He's a treasure.
I'm missing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anytime you're in the area and you want to come by, you're always
Well, we
welcome.
may. We'll have to see if we can do something new.
Of course.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the
a new game. Maybe we'll do a new game. Who knows?
I love that. Anytime. And lots of love to you and the family.
Thank you.
And
To you as well.
thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you all tomorrow for something completely different.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, look at you. You got it.
Well, I should have done that earlier.
That's okay.
Now everybody's going to hear that.
No, it doesn't matter. No one cares.
Well, it's real life.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually really sitting here, and my phone is really here, and it's making noise.
It's the real deal.
It's a real deal.